guys, I'm Lisa Gillespie. Need to see if that will work. Okay, so how many of you have ever watched that show, that reality show called Nailed It? Yes? No? Oh my goodness, you're missing it. It's so amazing. They take just like 3 regular home people and they create this edible masterpiece, and whoever comes closest to it gets $10,000. Now, if you've not seen it, imagine a gorgeous cake and then imagine a disastrous fail. So, the fun thing about it for me was that the title description in it is part baking contest, I can't do this, part hot mess. And I thought, oh my goodness, that is such a picture of my business. Part world changer, part hot mess. And then I thought, oh my gosh, wouldn't this be amazing if there could be a reality show and it would be about empowering women out of poverty? And all you could do was to show up, to give it all you got, and anyone who just came close to the mark would change 10,000 lives. Anybody here would sign up for that? Yes, of course you would. In fact, you already have. It's called Trades of Hope. So, true to the show, I had big dreams and great expectations for what the model that our founders had set up for empowering women out of poverty. But also, true to the show, I encountered an awful lot of problems and obstacles in my way. And those discouragements and those disappointments just kind of stopped me in my tracks. You see, what began as a blessing in my business turned into burden. And the joy in my business turned into stress. And you see, I had to find a way to turn that equation around, because not only was I fighting for my peace, I was fighting for her peace, more importantly. So, today, one of the things that you always learn when you go through struggles is there's always something to be learned. So for me, I got to learn that it was up to me to choose whether my business was going to be a burden or whether it was going to be a blessing. And the way that was going to happen was according to how I choose to face those obstacles that come along in our business during those disappointing times. And so I'd like to share with you a quick object lesson. And I guess I didn't figure out that I was going to have a microphone in my hand. So can you help, pretty please? Will you be my microphone stand? I love this girl. Okay, so. Hot mess, part world changer, part hot mess. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a real object lesson. So the definition mechanically of stress is external pressure divided by internal strength. And so this is just something that really helps me. I have 2 objects here in my hand. If you can see them, they're pretty much identical. They're the same shape and they're the same size. And I'm going to exert the exact same amount of external stress on these 2 objects. So I'm going to take this nail and I'm just going to bend it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Can you hear it? It's laughing at me. And then I'm going to take this straw, and before I even start, the same amount of pressure, it cracks, right? Can you hear it? It's complaining. It's too cold in here. These people are looking at me. Those fingers are too bony on my straw. So I'm going to make this real to us in our business. We're going to name this one Erin. Do you know that this one we're going to call Lisa? Do you know that they have the exact same business, the exact same circumstances, and we're going to exert the same amount of pressure, the 100 pounds of pressure, to this one right here, right? Well, what happens is Erin has 200 pounds of internal strength. So 100 divided by 200, half a pound of pressure. So when Erin's going about her business and somebody's like, no, I'm kind of busy, or I'm moving, or life's crazy, I don't want to have a party, she carries around a half a pound of stress in her life. Doesn't even faze her. She doesn't even notice it. And so she goes about her business with willing expectations for the next several phone calls because people are going to want to join this and make a difference. Exact same situation. Lisa has only 1 pound of internal strength, 100 pounds of pressure, same pressure, 1 pound of internal strength. Lisa carries around 100 pounds of pressure in her business. And so the first time somebody tells her no or they don't want to join the team, what's she doing? This business is too hard. Nobody wants to book a party. Nobody wants to join my team. She's blaming it on all of the external sources, right? And I just want to share with you that anytime you struggle with stress in your business, the issues always start internally. All those things that we all do in our business, whether we are booking parties, whether we are sponsoring, whether we are selling, those are all things that can be learned. But you see, the question is, are you willing to change and do whatever it takes to make those obstacles go away? In every struggle, there is something that God wants to teach you in your heart or in your mind to unlock something powerful so that you can be used mightily for God to change women's lives around the world. Okay, 3 quick tips of how you're going to improve your internal strength. Kill the ants. Ants, A-N-T. Ants are automatic negative thoughts. Ladies, my brain is a picnic, and if I have 1 ant, I have 100 or 1,000 ants. Okay, all complaining is denying responsibilities for our attitudes. And number 2, if it's a skill set that you're lacking, are you coachable and are you teachable? If you tell me that you cannot book parties, is it that your perspective is off, that you really don't realize how many people you have to call in order to book a party when you're in direct sales? Or is it that you're just not willing to make those phone calls? Search your heart and figure out what that really is. And number 3, borrow strength and be accountable. If you need strength, if you're struggling, this one here, I can borrow 1,000,000 pounds of strength from her. Our founders, Erin, all our directors, they have enough strength for all of you. And if you don't feel that you're brave enough, then listen to some of our stuff from our artisans. The stuff that they struggle with every day is so incredibly hard compared to somebody telling us no. There are more than enough whiny, complaining straws in this world. As compassionate entrepreneurs, we need to build that inner strength so that we can be strong as nails for our artisans, so that she can be strong for her children, her family, and her communities. And ladies, and just know that in this reality show called Trades of Hope, you're already a world changer. But I also want you to know that in this show, it is perfectly acceptable to be a hot mess. So, the next time you're perfect, whether it's a perfect party, a perfect hostess, a perfect CE, turns into a melting, ucky goo of yuck that doesn't look anything like this perfect business that you wanted or dreamed of. I want you to just sit back and figure out, what can you learn from this? What can you do differently? And take responsibility for your continued joy in this journey. And when your perfect 5-minute speech turns into a 7-minute, 8-minute speech, just laugh and acknowledge the hot mess that you are and go, nailed it.
All right. Can we all say that she nailed it? Say, nailed it. All right, because that was awesome. Wow. All right, guys. So I'm going to talk to you briefly, as quick as I can in 5 minutes, on hostess coaching, okay? So how many of us have gone through the work of booking a party and are so excited to have a party on the books? You guys are excited to have a party on the books? Okay, great. What happens in between then and the party? How can you influence the success of that party? Is showing up and doing a nice presentation enough? I don't think so. Between setting it up and having the party is hostess coaching. Hostess coaching is just a process by which you get to know your hostesses and work with her to have the best party possible. Many hostesses have no idea what to do or even that there is anything that they need to do. If you guide them through the process, they will often respond positively, and the party will end up being as successful as they and you had hoped. Don't wing it. Trust me. Been there. You need to have a plan so they can have a plan. Number 1, connection is key. Know how best to contact her and when. If you can't contact her, you can't help her. If she ignores you, and some will, do your best, but don't kill yourself. As the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. If you can connect with her, get to know where her comfort level is in having a party and inviting people. Reach out several times and keep good notes. Notes are an excellent way of keeping track of what you've talked about and when. They are a big help for you to keeping track of where things are with each hostess, especially when you have a number of parties in the books. Number 2 is know her why. In the same way it's important for you to know your why, you need to understand your hostess's why. It makes a big difference in everything that follows. If she's caught the vision, great. If it's a party swap, well, it's probably time to lower your expectations. Sometimes it will be something in between, and connecting with her a couple of times can help bridge the gap and build excitement. Number 3, plan when she should get her hostess packet, especially if the party is a long way out. Write it on your calendar. Sending a packet too soon has some risks, particularly with changing schedules or the hostess forgetting she even has the packet. Sending it too late doesn't give enough time for the guest to plan and respond. Number 4, teach her how to invite her guests. You'd think this was straightforward, but it's often the one thing that gets screwed up the most. I give my hostesses 4 different options for how to invite their guests, and I encourage them to use at least 2 for all their guests. They know their guests the best and how they would like to personally be reached out to. The key here is personal. Seriously, every invitation should be personal. Mass invites don't work, no matter what they think. This is the single hardest concept sometimes to get across because we live in a crazy busy world, and so it's really easy to click on a Facebook invite or event and click all your friends, and you're done. You will get people with mass invites, but you'll also get a ton of no-shows and cancellations. Number 5 is set some expectations. Give her some goals. Hostesses with goals produce results. Some will have goals of their own, but many just want to do the party and are not as concerned with the actual results. One big change that I started a year and a half ago is having a hope basket, and it's made a big difference for my parties. I know that a successful party is 8 or more guests at a party. As the saying goes, 8 is great. So I challenge her to have 8 guests, and if she has 8 guests at her party, she'll get a free item from me that she can pick out from her hope basket, or from my hope basket. Now, don't go spending a ton of money. Please hear me. We have an amazing hostess rewards program, but sometimes adding this extra element has made a huge difference. Use your money wisely. I built my basket of hope items mainly around retired items that are in great condition, that I haven't worn or used much. I also take advantage of sale items and hostess rewards when I have my own party. Knowing they can get a free product just by having 8 guests at their party has been a game changer, and it gives me a way to really encourage them to have 8 guests. Hostess coaching takes effort and planning. Connect with them, understand their why, help them use their hostess packet effectively, teach them how to invite guests, and set some goals. I've personally seen this make a huge difference in the outcome of my parties, big and small. Now, I could not go into all the details of my hostess coaching or I'd be up on the stage for 20 minutes. So I know I just gave you teasers. So I asked Megan, I'm like, can I possibly do a Monday wake-up call? So I don't get a ton of messages. I'm like, hey, what do you mean by this? So the end of August, I'm going to do a Monday wake-up call. So any questions you have about what I said, just come to there, ask questions, and I will go into more details of all this stuff. Thanks.
Hi, my turn. Aw, I hear my girls over there. One of the number one things my girls and other girls I hear say is they'll start out really strong and they'll have great parties and a few months will go by and all of a sudden they're like, I can't get anybody to book parties with me again. And I'll say, I'm sorry, say that again? And they're like, I can't get anybody to book parties with me again. I went, again. Okay, we need to talk about expanding outside your inner circle, okay? When you have those parties, you're supposed to be booking parties. You're supposed to be engaging more people. You want your guests to have people you don't know there, right? And people say, yeah, but that's not so easy. You know, my friends are friends with friends with friends, and they all kind of intermingle. Well, there are many CEs that have parties that have never been with their friends and their family. I'm not one of those. I have a CE here who I pretty much just told her, right, Katie? You're going to join. Because this is more you than me, and you're going to just be on my team, and we're going to do this together. She's still here. She's still with me, but I don't recommend that tactic. It doesn't work very well. So the best way that I can give is analogies. That's how I speak. I tell stories. So let me give you an analogy. You own a restaurant, and you're so excited. You've picked out all the decor. You've perfected your menu. You know your hours. You've trained your staff, right? You are on it. And you're going to invite your friends and family, and then you're going to invite your friends and family, and then hopefully they come back next week with more of the same friends and family. Does this make sense to you? No. You may invite them at your opening and be like, I expect your feedback. I want to hear, what do you think of the tiramisu? Or, oh, ham and bologna inside the broccoli wasn't good. You want to know, what do they think about it? But ultimately, what you want them to do is to be so excited about your brand new restaurant that they want to come back next week with people you don't know. And that they will eventually start telling their friends and their friends and their friends. So how do you expand outside your inner circle? Oh my gosh, I have 2 minutes and 20 seconds. All right, get your pens ready. Are you ready? No, seriously, are you ready? Because we now got 2 minutes and 10 seconds. All right, vendor events. Great way to meet new people. I go with every vendor event with the intention that if I sell a few things, great. Not my main intention. I am there to let people know that Trades of Hope needs more world changers than anything. We are not at a shortage of artisans who need our help. We are a shortage of people like us willing to go out there and do it. I also am looking for people who are willing to book parties. So vendor events, key. Be choosy with your vendor events. Try to find things that are like-minded. Fair trade events, craft shows, things like that. Join a group. Now, a lot of these things that I'm going to be listing on my list aren't places to go have parties, folks. Like, don't join a mom and tot group and sit there and bring like your kit. These is places for you to expand outside your circle and meet new people. Do you understand? Like, this is your way of having new friends outside the circle that you already know. So join a mom and tot group, a book club, adoption groups, foster care groups, safe families, and a church group. Another one, exercise class, yoga class, a supper club, an awareness dinner or gala. How many of you see that there's like a sex trafficking awareness gala going on or a dinner? Guess what? You may only get to sit at a table with 12 people, but at some point in that night, they're going to look at you and say, so what do you do? And so help me, I will find you if the first thing you say is, I stay at home, or I do this and that. I also dabble a little bit with Trades of Hope. I promise you I will find you. Your number one thing that you should start with is, I help mamas keep and feed their babies. That's what I do. And you own it and you go with it. All right, seriously, 15 seconds. Okay. Baby showers, bridal showers, soccer, dance, hockey, yoga, job fairs, host a dinner, picnic, or barbecue. Invite people over you don't know. I bet you don't know all your neighbors. Yeah, you go ahead, tell lies that you do. You don't. Go invite them all. Rotary Club. I spoke to an entire Rotary Club about Trades of Hope. They didn't know why I was there. I didn't know why I was there. I didn't care. I just told them all anyway. And they were confused. We were all confused. But at the end of it, 12 people walked out of there knowing more about Trades of Hope, and I had a great chicken sandwich. Parades, craft shows, a CPR class, online groups, PTA. Oh, those women are hungry for more things to do, I promise. Waitresses and waiters, okay? Every single one, I'm like, you were amazing. I would love to talk to you about being on my team. And I leave them a pen with my information on it. Sure, go ahead, do a business card. But waitresses love a good pen. Girls' night out, cookie exchange, bridge club, euchre club, canasta club, painting parties, volunteer at an animal shelter, hospital, church, schools, pregnancy center. Get permission on that one. You don't want to be weird at a pregnancy center. Set up at fair trade coffee shops, military bases. Shout out to Andrea, who has a vendor event talking about job possibilities at a military base. Yeah, totally jealous of that one. College campuses. I got that idea from Kara. Love that. Go sit at a college campus with a sign saying now hiring world changers. It's easier to ask for permission or to ask for forgiveness than permission on those cases. Attend other parties, other direct sale parties. People will ask you, so what do you do? Again, what's your answer? That's what you do, exactly. Political rally, why not? Call your local churches, especially, where's Miss Alabama that spoke earlier? You have a bank and a church on every corner, girl, I know it. So call them and say, can I talk to the person who's the head of your missions? Can I talk to the person who is with your women's group or ladies group? And you're not asking them to book a party. You're asking to go and stand in front of them and say, hey, do all you know about Trades of Hope? I'm going to guess no, because if you did, you would be a part of it. I know you would. So I just blew through a lot of things, and I saw a lot of you writing furiously, but I promise all of these are just ideas and tips, right? Ultimately, it comes down to three things. You have to leave your house. You can go ahead and go on Facebook and hand out your link. Those are all just billboards, folks. You have to make sincere connections with people. And ultimately, you do have to believe that people want to be a part of Trades of Hope because they do. They just don't know it. If they knew about it, they'd be here. I know they would. And the biggest obstacle to get to that one is that you have to believe in yourself to be a good advocate for it. I promise you that you are. If you are here, if you are signed up, if you believe in what we're doing, there's a reason why you've been placed in front of those people to tell them about it. And it's circular. It's never ending. I promise you, Erin Woods will be having booked parties in those bowls. Why? She has to continue to build her business. Nobody stands up here and says, whew, got my title. Where's my swag bag? No, it's constant. It's circular. People are constantly moving in and out, and I went way over my time. So that's it for me.
Good morning, world changers. And actually, I want to greet you in a different way. Good morning, essential pieces. Because truly, when I look around this room, you are an essential piece to restoring hope. And as you notice, I'm wearing a shirt. Little background about myself is I taught special education for 15 years. Ooh. I could relate to what Erin had said. When I left the profession, it was very hard because my identity was in that. But I loved to teach thematically, and I love to teach to learning different styles, and that's why I'm wearing a visual for you to remember what I speak about, essential pieces, because we are essential to restoring hope. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. See, I have had a dream, a heart desire to do missions in Haiti, and I had no idea how that was going to happen. But in 2015, visiting our sponsored children, our missionary friends brought us to see what Shelley Jean was doing. And seeing job creation and seeing orphan prevention, my husband and I knew that we had to be a part of it. I had no idea how that was going to happen. We knew that there had to be a distribution channel in the United States because we know there are not Haitians going in to shop in their boutique. And so, you know, like most of us, we are on social media. So how about we go a year and a half after 2015, I'm scrolling through Instagram, and I recognize the Haitian artisans. And truly, that was the answer to my cry that day. I asked God because I felt like a failure because I left teaching, then I left being a hospice bereavement coordinator, and I thought, Lord, you've put in my heart to be in missions. And when I saw that, and I saw fair trade and empowering women out of poverty, I'm like, what is this Trades of Hope about? And of course, I started researching, and when I saw what Trades of Hope was about, there were so many pieces of my heart that we work with developmentally disabled individuals, that we have a month where we look at breast cancer awareness. My mom passed from it, and that bracelet that says brave, those were the last words my mom said to me, be brave. And I said, okay, I'm signing up. Even if I can do a party a month, I'm doing this. I have no idea about direct sales, but I'm going to do it. And I did it. And I want to say that that's my story, but I know if I could ask each of you, you each have a story to be told. And the reason why you need to tell that story is because it fans a fire in your heart. You need to be brave. You need to step out of your comfort zones for the women that we are empowering. Because there are going to be times when discouragement will come, and you need to be encouraged when you get a no, and you're like, why are they saying no? Why are they saying no to these amazing sales? What is wrong with these people? You know, like they can save a life, they can empower someone, and you just don't get it, right? At least I don't get it. And I'm sure a lot of you don't get it either. Like, how can they not do this? And so when we fan that fire in our heart, sparks are flying off, and people catch that. That ignites in other people's hearts. There's so many women that have a heart desire to have purpose. And so share your story, and I encourage you to write it down, especially if you have moments where you need encouragement. And so I share all of that, and I'm like, wow, that clock is going fast. Okay, so we all have a mission here to empower women out of poverty, right? But our personal why will drive us on a little different way. We have partiers, people who go to Rotary clubs. We have people that do pop-ups. We have people that have home parties. Some people are doing Facebook. Some people are doing it one-on-one. That is all essential. Those are essential pieces. You each have a part of that. Then there's some of us that are like, we want to be leaders, and how we lead our team is going to look a little differently, and that is essential as well. I find that we live in this world, though, it's so easy for us to compare and feel less important than others whose gifts are different or maybe more visible to us. So it's really important that we remember our piece and how our Creator wants us to see ourselves uniquely made and created and highly valued by Him. And I think you'll catch a glimpse, too, that we're highly valued by the home team. And I know we're highly valued by our artisans. And so take a grab of that. Hold on to that. I love this Restoring Hope necklace because I see that each piece, even though they look a little different, they all are linked together. And they have to be there. And they have to come together. They each have a purpose. They each have a need. And they each have a different function. Some of you are encouragers. Some of you are, we're all storytellers. And I just want to say that we need to come together because we are restoring hope. And before you leave for lunch, I have a little something for you. And I want to leave you with this. You are an essential piece. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it a wonderful thing that we're all different? Each of us has strengths and skills to share. And when we link our individual strengths together, we're invincible in restoring hope.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sabrina. Oh, you guys are going to make me cry, and I haven't even said anything yet. So how many in this room have had times of disappointment since you've started your business? If you don't have your hand up, you're making it up. So I want to talk a little bit about, my story. Hopefully I can get through without crying. And just, how I pushed through those times. So I started in December of 2014, and my first hostess was in January, which, kind of a tough month. And it was on Facebook. Can be tough sometimes. And we sold $1,000. And I was like, this is like taking candy from a baby. This is like the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. I didn't even leave my house. I'm in my pajamas. But, of course, with anything that's kind of worth something, it doesn't always come easily. So, and life can be hard, I'm sure everybody here has a list. I'm going to read my list. It's in no particular order. I had a lot of obstacles in that first year or two. Postpartum depression, illness, physical pain, fear, self-doubt, anxiety, loneliness, doors literally slamming in my face, severe issues with my son, the breakdown of my relationship with my brother. I moved to a new state, fear of failing, and then kind of the fear of succeeding also. Financial hardship, and did I mention fear? Fear, it kind of drives a lot of this disappointment and adversity that we face. There were times when I couldn't focus, literally. I struggled to get my footing. I didn't even feel like myself. So in 2016, my husband basically forced me to come to retreat. I'm still very afraid to fly. I drove here. I don't like to fly. I didn't really want to leave my kids, so I didn't even consider it. It wasn't even on my radar. And he kept pushing me. He kept saying, yeah, I just think you should go. This is special. You should go. So I did. I got on a plane by myself, and I came. And the theme that year was fearless. And it was a God-given blessing because I felt fearless. I left. I was like, I am fearless. And that kind of started my journey towards empowering myself to live out that calling that God had just placed in my life, being a world changer like everybody else here. And I'll be honest, I am not a fan of like the inspirational talky talk and the touchy-feely things and standing up in front of 1 million people and sharing my soul. I'm a practical New Englander. It's like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and just get it done, And so, the Trades of Hope has been so interesting for me because it's sort of helped me tap into that side of me I didn't even know I needed to tap into. I never really had a lot of girlfriends. So this whole sisterhood thing, I'm like, yeah, I'm all set, I know, it's bad, but it's true, it's me. And, but it was so powerful, and I didn't even know I needed it. So after that, I really started to work my business faithfully. And I moved slowly. I've been a CE for, 3.5 years. It took me 3.5 years to get to a place where I'm standing up here. Crazy. But I was really determined to push through those times. So in 2017, I just committed to God, I am building an army. That was like the mantra in my head. I'm building an army of women. I'm going to find them, and they are going to join me. And in this amazing job that I get to do. So I put into practice some things, and I wanted to share that with you. It really helped me push through those really tough times, and you all have them. We all do in our lives. Number one is show up. Go to your team meetings. Watch the trainings. Watch the wake-up calls, the videos. Participate in any challenge that gets put out by the home team. Make yourself show up as much as you can in your life and in your season. Showing up really was a game changer for me because it sort of fills me up and it keeps my eye on my objective and what I want to accomplish. Touch your business every day. Even the smallest thing, I mean, I think sometimes we feel like it has to be perfect. My circumstances have to be perfect. My child has to be napping between 1 and 3 every single day, and then I will be able to, do whatever, but it's never gonna be that way. Just I'm telling you right now, I've got 4 of them, it's never gonna be that way. So you have to steal those minutes in the early time when your kids are little. I cannot even tell you how many times when I moved to this new state, I would put my kids in the car and pray they would take a nap. I would literally drive around, and then they'd fall asleep. I'm like, yes. And I'd pull on some street and look like a weirdo probably, but I'd call some hostesses, and I would work because that's what I could do. So touch it daily, and you'll see the fruit. You will. Trust me. Remember the artisans. I keep them in the forefront of my mind all the time. When I feel like giving up, I remind myself that she needs me. She needs my unique contribution, and she needs your unique contribution. I imagine what it would be like. What if we have 20,000 artisans, 50,000 artisans, 100,000 artisans? I am not missing out on that. I'm not, and you shouldn't either. Don't compare yourself to other people's businesses. That's gonna poison you and steal your joy. Just trust me. I'm not gonna say anything more, just trust me. And change the narrative in your head. It's different for each of us. You know just what I mean when I say that. Whatever that negative label that you put on yourself or that someone else has put on you, don't give it power. You decide what your narrative is. For example, I have told myself over and over again, I could never speak in front of a group like this. And here I am. So in the beginning, I gave you kind of that long list of adversity I was facing, and I'm actually still facing some of those things. And you have your own list. But here's the list of what I am, and it's the list of what you are. Fearless, advocate, powerful, freedom fighter, world changer, wrong writer, compassionate, business owner, important and needed,